All right, yeah.
Alright, we're
so,
recording now.
So yeah, it's up to you
Cry
guys.
me a river.
So it's up to you guys which you do first. Technically, chronologically, the scribe would be happening second, but just for the sake of it, we could do that. We do that first, since that whole debacle will be a fixed length, most likely, because Alex has specific things he wants to say, whereas the anything else that would go on is entirely up to how much information you guys try to get, and what your plans are. So, do you guys want to do the scry first, or do you want to do the finish the stuff of last session first?
I don't care.
Anyone else have an opinion?
We could just do the scry first.
Okay. All right, that works. Okay, so we will sort the funds out later, Alex. I'm sure you have them. And yeah, so
I figured we would do all the other background stuff when it's mine and Mike's session.
Yeah. So point is, the only way they'd even know that you're doing any of this shit is if you successfully done it. So
let's assume that I did.
So which of them are you going to scry? Because only one of them is technically going to be able to hear you.
Oh, is Caleb one of those? Is Caleb one of them?
Yeah, Caleb's one of them.
Okay, so Caleb.
All
I'll
right.
be contacting NG because he's the person I contacted before.
Yeah, and it would be very, very easy for Eliana to scry him. She has very vivid memories of NG.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, excellent.
That beautiful fur. Alright, let me get in my position so 20 minutes into the session I can nod off. And then Jamel can call me and tell me to stop the recording.
Jackass.
It'd be like that.
All right, so
Can't help it.
sometime I would say so. Well, I'm not going to describe anything because, like I said, this would happen after anything you guys do. So TLDR, Inuyasha scries NG. I'd imagine he'd be with everyone else, but only NG would actually be hearing what he's saying.
Yeah.
And you would have 10 minutes of in-game time, which is just fucking.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually matter, but
Yeah.
Let's just assume that we're back at the.
You guys are at Calamont, yes, and and you'd have discussed whatever you discuss with anyone there.
Alright, so I could see. So with scrying, you can see the person, right?
Yes. So you could see like a short distance around them. So if everyone was with him, you'd see them, but they couldn't hear you.
Okay. So I just start kind of check in, and I'm just like, fuck. You guys look rougher than I do.
Yeah, we ran into some trouble.
Well, that makes two of us. So listen, I'm gonna kind of keep this brief. Things are fucked on our end right now.
Same here.
And I'm sure, yes. Remember that? I'm like, okay, so last time you guys were here, remember the boy and his mother that we saved from the dragon?
Yeah.
So a lot's happened.
The mom
boy's
died,
dead.
right?
The mom is not dead.
No, the mom's
as far as I
blind?
remember. She's blind and crazy.
Okay,
but the boy is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
the boy's dead.
All right.
How'd
that
has
happen?
to do Softail and I, as well as Ichabod, started to investigate the circumstances around that cobra tattoo, and we got a whole hell of a lot more than we bargained for. Essentially, we found out we found the other bandit leaders. We know about some of their identities. We know about the identity of their leader, and this shit goes a whole hell of a lot deeper than we'd first thought. They
Did
had
you find
kidnapped
who
Occam.
the traitor was?
We're pretty sure that it's that halfling bitch, but we're not entirely sure. Recently, Occam was kidnapped. We ended up saving him, took down one of the bandit leaders, a man named Jeb, who gave us a lot of information. So it turns out that the leader of this group, both the bandit leaders and the man and the people behind the cobra tattoos, is this guy named Veritas.
Correction: Veritas is not the leader of the bandits.
Oh no, not the leader of the bandits.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
but he.
Did. But go on.
Yes, but he was wasn't he? Employing some of the bandits.
Yeah. So freaking pretty much Jeb used to just be in day-to-day bandit / mercenary. He had the jobs for them. Yes.
Okay.
So he's the one that
So-
hired all the bandit leaders to work together.
No, no.
together.
The bandit leaders work together simply because they were that's just what they do. Freaking
Okay.
the only way Jeb was connected is that Jeb what's it called? Jeb knew Veritas from back in the day, like Akatsuki Inception Veritas, and freaking
Yeah.
and he had done work for him then.
Okay.
Jeb's like a Orochimaru.
Yeah.
Okay.
He used to be part of the Akatsuki, and then he kind of dipped. But okay, so essentially what we have right now. We're trying to mount sort of attack against Veritas and his group before the election, before we make that decision. And frankly, we don't have enough manpower for this. This man is too powerful, and the amount of trouble we've been having with the bandits, who are seemingly weaker than him, make us feel very unconfident, especially considering this man's skill set. Apparently he has control over minds, his mental magic, something like that can fuck your shit up.
Okay.
So that's essentially the reason that I'm reaching out. Don't expect you all to abandon your mission, your personal mission right from the get-go, but considering that this directly ties with our mission that Adam had sent us on, and that if we're able to clear this up, we have a good amount of the council probably on our side for these things. Maybe beneficial if we didn't fucking die.
Yeah. I think we've pretty much done as much as we can here now, and so we were planning on heading back within the next day or two anyway.
Well, it's gonna take more than a day to.
Well,
figure
yeah,
out
you
your-
guys are gonna leave in the next day or two, not get there.
Yeah. We found Zarkorus.
You did.
He's alive. He's doing well.
Excellent.
I assume he's probably gonna stay here. I haven't really. Did we talk to him already?
Not yet. No, we didn't.
See, that's the thing. Had
Yeah.
we done that first, you guys would probably have the answer to that question by now. But we can
Okay.
fill that in later.
He is or isn't
Yeah,
gonna
whatever.
come with us.
Understandable.
But we came across what's this place called?
Calamot.
We were in Calamot, which is
Ripped off
a
the towers.
stronghold
Huh? Is it?
in what?
Shut up. Go
A
on, go on, go on.
stronghold that we came across in the Foullands that was under siege by some whites, and we helped fend them off, and that's where we came across Zarkorus. I assume he's probably going to stay here,
Mhm.
or he is staying here, whatever. But we've pretty much come as far as we can at this point.
So no lead on the paladin girl.
May potentially have one.
Potential lead, but we are in the same boat as you. We're gonna need backup if we're gonna continue to follow this.
Well, I'm sure I, for one, would be fine with helping you, and I'm sure Softail would do the same. But I think in terms of timeliness, handling the mission back here in the city would probably come first.
I agree. We need to come back for more supplies and everything. Anyway, I have
Go on.
a sword that's being made that I'm really itching to get my hands on.
And if you're with the guys, you could
Yeah, I was gonna say,
you
does
could get their
anybody
approval
else-
as well. I'm pretty sure you were all in agreement that going back was the plan.
Yeah. Does anybody else have anything they want to say?
Tell the cat to say hi.
Pass it on.
He's not there, but okay.
I'll pass it on. Well, to prepare you guys for when you come back, essentially our quote-unquote fighting force is the two of us, myself and Softail. We have Occam, who's currently on our side. Ichabod has been in our dealings as well. He's proven himself more interested in this mission than we had first assumed. I would hope at least that the warrior princess would be on our side as well. And aside from that, that's that's pretty much it. So we could definitely use all the manpower that we can.
Alright. Is there a time frame on this? Do we need to like rush back, or is it just whenever we get back?
Well, I would say try and be as quick as possible. With our most recent events, I think we've made ourselves known to both the other bandit leaders as well as potentially Veritas. So, considering his ploy with Occam didn't go so well because we intervened, I have a feeling that he won't be waiting too much longer before he makes his next move.
Well, we have a few loose ends to tie up here, and then we'll make haste.
That's all I can ask. Give Zarkoris my regards.
Will do. All right. Nice.
Godspeed.
We'll deal with the what's it called? Technically, Eliana would have just gotten a lot of information that she didn't have prior.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, we'll deal with all the Eliana RP.
We'll
like,
deal
in
with
our
that.
session.
We'll deal with that next when it gets to you guys.
When she's
We'll
like,
do
what the
that
fuck
first
do
thing.
you mean mission from Adam?
What bandits? No, I'm kidding. But yeah. But yeah.
He's like, what do you mean traitor in the council?
So cool. So that's that.
Yeah.
For this, honestly, for the sake of continuity, I'll say that that happened like
On the
Pro-
ride back
yeah,
or something?
no, yeah, I'll say that happened while you guys were on your way to pick up Kane with Zarkoris.
Okay.
Yeah, just because
Okay.
I don't want you guys to pretend you had information you didn't. So yeah,
I mean, it's like a couple hour difference or something, right?
it's like a couple day difference, but it doesn't actually
is it?
matter. Yeah, it doesn't actually matter. Who fucking cares? Nothing happened. So yeah. So back to you guys. So you guys were this is actually could be extremely quick if you guys don't give a shit. But so yeah, you guys you guys got Kane back. You had an interesting horse ride back to Kalamat. And when you got there, Kane sort of like let himself off your horse and just sort of like limped his naked ass over to his to Tabitha. They embraced, and you guys are just sort of standing outside the walls. And that was where the session left off.
Yeah. Can you tell me what was his build? Like, was he a buff dude or?
He's not like jacked or anything. But he's like pretty like cut. He's lean.
Okay. Because you had originally described him as scrawny and so.
No, yeah. He is like he's like thin. He's really thin, but he's like shredded thin.
Okay.
Like you'd wager that you probably bench more than he does in his
Alright.
base form at least.
So he's not buff, but he's like toned.
Yeah. Like the man does like work like a decent amount of physical work to the point where he'd be like like toned or shit.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
He's not Occam or anything.
Yeah. Does anybody Coop?
But to remind you guys of
You're
what
the
was
leader
there,
here.
there was a cleric named Dumont who two different people told you guys that if you needed a lead on paladins, he'd be the guy to ask. He's the closest thing to one there, and he said that he had lost his sister while on the way pursuing a group of paladins. What'd you call it? That was a lead, and if you guys wanted to, you guys had an original reason for coming here. You could ask about that potentially.
What is
Kane,
the
go on.
what's the status of the settlement right now? What are they doing?
They're just sort of like
down.
doing like general repairs and stuff like that, and just trying to get stuff back together after the after the attack, burning whoever happened to have died in the attack, getting bodies out of the way, setting up like anything that they had like a lot of emergency stuff set up. Like, oh shit, someone sees some shit on the horizon. Like, yeah, it's still a horizon line even though it's not water. But someone sees some shit on the horizon. They're like, okay, yo, grab that thing we had set up. Like for example, like the bunch of fucking fire arrows that were up top. That all would have been set up prior. So they're just resetting all that stuff up just in case they get attacked somewhat soon. They're just sort of rearming themselves.
And Kane is still dry humping Tabitha.
He's not driving. They're hugging.
All right. Well, I would like to approach those two.
Sounds like rape to me.
Tap Kane, so at least he'd look at me. And first, you owe me a new cloak. Second, me and my team will help in the general repairs, but at noon we're gonna come and meet with you.
He's glad. He's like,
So be ready.
he's like, oh, so we get to keep you lot around for a bit longer than I expected. Very much appreciate it. Now, if you don't mind, and then he just sort of he sort of lets Tabitha go, and he's like, I'm going to get decent. And I will see you at noon. And then he just sort of like just struts on into the settlement. Like literally, like when he goes toward the fortifications that were in the front, he just sort of like he's like literally just like naked, just like stepping over fucking stakes and shit, like fortifications and stuff. He's just like tiptoeing in between them, and fucking yeah, and he heads in to get himself together. And you see that literally the moment he walks in, one of the fucking random like guards there literally just throws him a fucking like a sheet. Just tells him to fucking get himself together. And he just sort of takes it, wraps around himself, and just heads toward the keep where he was retrieved from originally.
Alright.
So you're left with Tabitha standing before you. If you have nothing to say to her, she will head in as well.
Angie? Brutus? You guys know anything that I should probably talk to her about, or you should talk to her about?
Ask about the Archmage.
Which Archmage?
The old one.
Yeah, if that was Calvira's master. His name's Azrin.
I was gonna say, I forgot to ask you about that. If you got any leads about that.
Well, they wouldn't have had any.
No.
So.
I asked Tabitha, will she be joining us at the noon?
She goes, don't be fooled. Kane's technically our leader, but I am just as much in charge around here as he is, so yes, I'll be there. I'll be joining you.
Anyone else that should probably be there? Or you, who also helps run the place that should probably be there?
And he's sitting there, he's like, well, the boy will probably want to be involved.
Wait, is this Tabitha I'm talking to?
Yeah, I'm fucking up the accent. It's gonna happen. It's just like that. It's just
Looks
like that.
like you're trying to get in, Miss Swampa.
Wait, she's like she was like yes, Dumont, you'll most likely want to be involved as well.
All right. Then I will see you at noon. Engie, Brutus, if you have anything else, have fun. I go into the settlement.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Hey, Jamel.
Clarification, one thing
yeah.
about scrying.
Yes.
It's Eliana is the one that's talking, right?
Yes,
Technically.
Eliana's
She
the one
talks
that's
and she's just relaying what I'm
she's
saying.
relaying the information through you.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're essentially
Okay,
looking.
just wanted
She
to
like you
make sure
have to have a scrying object. She has like a silver mirror that is like.
Yeah,
literally-
I remember the setup. I just didn't remember if she was the one that was
Yeah.
talking or me. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So if Brutus and Engie don't have anything, we can sort of time skip to that meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you actually wanted to ask her anything about that the Archmage now, but you could wait to do that if you want.
Well, I also want to go personally invite Dumont to the meeting, and then yeah.
Yeah, freaking So if there's no if there's nothing specific you want to say to like get anything done other than that, then yeah, he would just accept.
Okay, then yeah. We can skip it. That sounds good to me.
All right. Brutus and Engie, you guys good with that?
Yeah, fucking do here. Fucking those fucking zombies and shit.
What he said.
Yeah. So yeah, we can time skip that. So you guys would but come noon, you guys would be meeting in a room in the keep, the same keep that Brutus and Engie were entered to sort of like head down that spiral staircase. You'd see the spiral staircase sort of toward the back of the room to the left, and you sort of to the right of the room is like another door. And you'd enter that room and you'd see it's just something of a meeting room. It's got a round table. There's sconces on the wall that are lit. And when you show up, you'll see that that Tabitha and Dumont are there, Kane is nowhere to be found currently. And upon walking in, you see Tabitha would greet you.
What's up?
Is there a reason why Kane isn't here?
She rolls her eyes and she goes, he tends to be tardy. My apologies. He should be here in, somewhat soon. Hopefully. And then freaking, sort of like, after she said that, you just see Dumont on the other side of the table, like sort of sitting like a decent ways to her left, and he's just like sitting there, and he's just rubbing his temple. He's clearly frustrated.
Okay. Are there are chairs for us to sit?
Oh yeah, totally. You guys
Alright,
just take a
I'm
seat and wait.
I mean, well, no. I wanted to ask them stuff.
Okay. All right.
I gotta find notes I have. I want to ask them about their various battlements and protection of the settlement for if this happens again. What are the plans in place?
Okay. So she's gonna say, well, most of our basic defenses have been, we set up wards on the different sides of the wall that make it difficult for undead to enter and barge through and pretty much apply any sort of force. It means they need to show in larger numbers. Otherwise, we set up physical fortifications, like the stakes that you saw that were crisscrossed in the ground out there. We sort of layer them to make it difficult for them to get through. They're not particularly athletic. They are not one for vaulting, so it does well enough. But typically those ones on the horses, typically they aren't there. So we've got to reevaluate, and if I'm being honest with you, I don't know what we are going to do differently. Hopefully, by the end of this we have come to some sort of conclusion.
Alright. Next thing. Angie, you know anything, Brutus? Is there anything you want to ask?
On that same note, after she finishes saying that, Dumont sort of like leans forward and he goes, I am telling you, if we find the paladins, we can storm that necropolis and put an end to this once and for all. And then freaking she just Tabitha sort of rolls her eyes at that, and she just sort of pinches her nose and she goes, I told you we don't have the force. The men and women who live here, they're not prepared for that. And then freaking he just sort of rolls his eyes and just leans back. Clearly he's heard that many times before.
Are there any other settlements like this, or like nearby?
She goes, settlements like ours, well, if by like ours you mean as prepared, not so much. There have been other settlements in the area, and, well, they've been less prepared than we've been. We usually stop receiving word from them after some time, and we're not the largest settlement. We're dense enough as it is, and as you saw, that can get quite chaotic. We've had to turn down many refugees. But I'm sure there are more settlements out there, but I doubt they'll exist for much longer. And sort of just as you're pondering your next question, just the door fucking just gets kicked open, and Kane walks in. He is wearing he's wearing some decent enough looking leather armor, and he's got a bowl hat on. And now to give like a better description of him, he comes in, he's got a bowl hat on, and he's got a freaking sort of like a stubbly what's it called? Like mustache / 5 o'clock shadow thing going, like the type of thing you, like it literally looks like he's just hit puberty or something, and it's like there's like the facial hair you got going on then, where it's not really well kept. It kind of looks like a little he looks very like scrubby, and he just sort of walks in, and he's like, my apologies, sorry for my tardiness, I very much apologize. And then he goes and he sits down and he goes, so, what are we discussing? And both Dumont and Tabitha roll their eyes and just don't even bother saying a word. They're clearly very frustrated.
I look Kane dead in the eyes and say we're just discussing how you're about to give me the bowler hat right now.
He goes, I do no such thing. Is this true? You're discussing my hat? I'll have you know, this hat stays on my head. None of you will be having it.
I'll have you know that this isn't a discussion. I've lost my cloak because of you. Give me the bowler hat.
Roll an intimidate for me.
That couldn't have gone anywhere.
Oh wait, I didn't even see the roll. Wait, nothing showed up for that.
That couldn't have gone anywhere.
Don't spoil it. I'm gonna re-roll. I'm gonna refresh my. I'm gonna refresh my.
I just came back. What the fuck?
I'm gonna refresh my.
How?
My roll 20.
Anywhere.
I'm gonna refresh my roll 20.
How?
That 1 minus 2.
That literally couldn't have gone anywhere.
Yo,
It's funny
that's crazy.
Yesterday I rolled a
What, did you
diplomacy
just
and I
piss
went,
your pants when you tried to
yes,
intimidate him?
literally, if you scroll up slightly, you'll see that he rolled a diplomacy with a nat 20 minus 2, and then the very next diplomacy was a nat 1 minus 2. Technically, you can't roll a -1. The very lowest you can roll is 0 or 1, I believe. But either way, needless to say, you fail. But he's going to be like he's gonna go. Now listen, we'll get you your cloak back. You really didn't expect me to ride for hours completely naked, did you? I figured that was why you gave it to me. He goes, if it was so important to you, we'll get you another cloak. Keep up with the attitude, and maybe you'll just leave with nothing.
I'm just gonna blow my brains out, honestly.
Dude, I'm laying on the couch to hear Caleb down like,
anyway.
alright, I gotta see this. I see -1.
Well, now that we're all here, we're looking for information. Beginning with an old archmage known as Azra.
He's gonna sit there. He's gonna ponder for a moment. He goes, Azrin. Do you remember what the fellow looked like? We've had visitors in some time.
He's old as fuck.
Old, you say? You said he was an archmage of Zadros, I'd imagine.
I don't know. I don't know, God. Yeah? Okay.
It's like, some time ago, and I mean some time, over at least a year, a man did stop by Calamont. Older fellow, dressed rather, well, archmagey, you know, robes and like, silk.
That's the
Very,
one.
very, very well dressed, but he only stopped by for a short time, if I recall. And then he looked at Tabitha and Dumont. He goes, do you remember what I'm speaking of? Do you remember what he came here for? And then freaking Dumont will immediately just goes, yes, he came. He inquired about the necropolis. And after that, we told him we did not have much resources, and we did not really. There was not much we could do to help him. And within minutes, he left. Clearly, he did not get what he wanted.
Did he mention a potential artifact?
The man mentioned nothing at all. The way he talked, the aura about him, it's as if he just thought he was better than us. Sort of looked down his nose. He didn't explain a thing to us, talked to us like we were children.
All right. Well,
And then Dumont would be like, if I remember correctly, he seemed rather frustrated as he left. Clearly, he expected more from us, but we had nothing for him. But again, this was many. It was a long time ago. Roughly a year.
all right. Well, we only have one lead and nothing else. That's what it seems like. Acropolis, but we won't.
And then at that point, Kane is gonna sort of speak up, and he's gonna go, well, yes, if you don't mind, I have a question for you lot. You've done a great amount to help us, of course. So feel free to be withholding, but it'd be easier for us to help you if we knew why you were here. What brings you to such a horrid place? If I didn't have my people to take care of, I'd have tried to get out myself by now.
Just looking for a friend. Just looking for a friend.
Friend? You said you found your friend, right? Was it not Sarkoris?
No. There's another one. Odds are she's with that group of paladins that everyone's so eager to mention.
And then freaking Dumont would just sort of just slide forward and just sort of put his hands on the table and lean over to you. He's like, the paladins, you know someone who is with them, you say?
Yeah, we know them for sure.
Do you have a lead? I must find them.
Well, hold on now. You're not going anywhere. As you've already heard from your other leaders here, you don't have the force for this. Here's what I'll recommend. We have more friends in Zajararos, and we recently heard that they are in a situation that requires us to go back. We are willing, though, to assist you in rebuilding your defenses and staying alive in the time we will be gone. We will absolutely be back, but we must leave for now, and we can come back and we can find this necropolis and hopefully find the paladin.
He's sitting there and he's like, defenses? Fuck the defenses! Fuck this whole horrible place! You sure you know nothing? You don't know a thing about the paladins? I must find them. They're the entire reason I am here. If I knew where they were, I would leave this place in a second.
No, I do not know where they are.
And he just sort of
I just know that they are somewhere over here, somewhere in this region.
And then he just sort of leans back and he just sort of spaces out from there. Almost as if as if you told a kid that you were going to McDonald's, you pulled up and got yourself a black coffee, and then just scooted out of the drive-thru. He is very, very dejected.
Don't take this as we don't want to help you. What is his name?
Dumont.
Dumont.
Yeah. And then just as you're saying that, he's just like, no, it is fine. I apologize for losing my temper. As you were. I believe you were explaining something.
We have to go back to Zadraros and help. A couple of our friends are down there, but hopefully with not much convincing we'll be able to bring them back up with us. We met a friend along our travels up here. I've also recently learned Noel. So hopefully I will be able to convince him to come up here, as he is a seasoned fighter against the whites, right? Or a white?
At that, Tabitha is just like, no, you're friends with those. He's like, you're friends with those scavengers?
Ma'am, with all due respect, they're just trying to live out here as well.
It's scavengers, not scavengers. Alright.
Wow. But she's like, Yes, they survived this. They survived well. They're still around, but they often show up and try to steal from us. If they're friends of yours, well, I suppose we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And then, oh, go on.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
And Kane's gonna be like, well, he's gonna say, well, it sounds like you lot have quite a bit to attend to. Don't let us hold you up. You've done more for us than we could ever ask. I thank you very much for that. And then he'll point to you, he's like, we'll be getting you a new cloak. No worries. Before you leave. And then he just looks back and he's like, don't worry about us. We've done well enough on our own, and we're an adaptable lot. We'll get things together.
Oh, I thought of something. Before we go, do you think it was a coincidence that the whites attacked him when you've changed, or because I don't remember from last night?
He goes, well, I'm not very fond of the idea of a coincidence. Nothing ever truly is. And, to be frank, no. I don't think it was a coincidence. I think they knew. I underestimated their intelligence. I've slain many a white in my day. But there was a difference. More coordinated.
And I would
Yes,
recommend.
that is rather concerning.
I'd recommend bringing Zakoris into the fold here, as he is what seems to be your head of security. Brief him on what we've discussed here, and let him know as well that we will be back.
Alright, I'll do that. We'll get you set up with some rations and some supplies for the road. Well, what lack thereof. It's dangerous, as I'm sure you've known. As I'm sure you know. It wouldn't have been easy for you to get here. It'll probably be even harder for you to get back. We'll do our best to make sure you're well equipped.
Is there a faster route that you know of that can bring us back to the capital of Zajaros, or no? Or do you not? What do you not know that?
He goes, I haven't been to the city in some time. And, we know good ways to get to the edge of to the border, where muck becomes grass. But we can only help you that far, and as you know, it'd just be directions, and the place is quite volatile. Always keep your guard up.
Would it be impossible to bring one of you in this room with us to maybe bring another rallying force? But probably not. No one would want to come out to the Foullands.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say he's gonna say well, if any of us went with you, we need all the help here we can get. But if anyone went with you, and they were to try and come back on their own, that would be quite dangerous. I'd advise against it. Traveling alone in the Foullands is not quite a good idea.
Alright. Well, I am good with the meeting. At that point, then.
Then, Dumon's just gonna sort of just snap sort of back to the conversation. He's just gonna lean forward and go. He's like, your travels. How important is this person you're looking for? Do you think you'll be seeking those paladins relatively soon? Or is the task you have one that will take a long amount of time?
Well, if I recall, the trip here was 11 days. So to I expect us to be back in a month.
He
and
goes,
it's not
Okay.
us. At the very least, I will be.
he goes, a month. The task you are taking on, what is the nature of it?
I think it's gonna take more than a month.
Think?
We gotta go to Zajaros, then we gotta go all the way back to Ashterra.
I mean, oh shit, we go all the way back.
Yeah, in terms of raw travel time, it'll be like raw travel time. If you were to just run there, run back, just do a perimeter, it'd be like 20 days, and that's not including the time you're gonna spend doing performing the your task.
Oof. Well, actually, it seems that it'll be some time before we can get back, as the journey is long. This is the first attack with the whites. Well, obviously not the first attack, but like the first
Yeah, with the whites,
real attack.
Coordinated attack?
Coordinated. There we go.
Tabitha would chime in and be like, yes, typically the whites aren't there, but it was different this time, as you saw. Should they come again, we might be in some trouble.
All right.
And then at hearing that, you literally see Dumont just sort of like look at her, and then he just sort of sighs, and he just like starts like rubbing his thighs with his hands, just because he's clearly like a little like anxious, and then he just sort of sits back.
Damn.
And one of you guys roll either perception or sense motive for me. Whichever's higher.
I got you. Oh, that works.
Okay. So Haywood, you noticed that as Dumont sort of like when he was asking you about your task, there was a bit of a longing in his eyes, and sort of at hearing Tabitha say that they, should the whites attack again, that they could be in some serious trouble. You see Dumont just sort of like bites his lip, and he just sort of leans back, and you get the vibe that at hearing that, he just sort of like felt obligated, as if like there was a responsibility on his part there.
Damn. I mean, I don't have to go back into Ashterra. I could help him here and just go back. I mean, and who's saying who? Damn, we don't even know if they'd be successful in this. They've been set it up pretty well. For now, I can't do anything but wish you guys the best and hope you guys make it. I will be back as fast as I can. But that's the best I can give you.
And Kane would speak up, and he's like, "And that's more than we could ever ask of you." And he'd look over to Dumont, and he'd be like, "Don't worry, lad. Just bide your time. I know it's been long, but we'll find her. You have my word." And then Dumont just sort of like takes in a deep breath, and you sort of see him like sort of quivering at that, as if he's like fighting back tears, and he just sort of he just goes, "Yes." And then he just sort of stands up, and he's like, "Excuse me. The battle left us with many wounded. We're going to tend to them. As you were. Good luck on your journey." And Dumont goes to leave.
Can I flag him before he stops and ask for his sister's name, or he's just?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I want to ask for his sister's.
He's gonna turn back, and he's like, her name was Trisha. She's, in the event that you by some miracle see her, she looks somewhat like me. She's dark like me. She has a symbol, like I do. The symbol of Ragathiel. But she is no cleric. My sister is a paladin. And then he just sort of like nods out of the room.
What was that church that was in drawers?
And Ashterra is a Draros is a church of Bahamut.
Okay,
You
got
can
it.
make a knowledge religion check to know about Ragathiel.
Do I make it?
Let me check.
Nice rolls, cool.
Thank you. I never miss, except that intimidate.
That was a joke, though. You know that didn't matter.
Absolutely.
Let me see. Yes, that's enough. So you know that Ragathiel he's a lawful good god. He's a lawful good god. But he is the god of chivalry, duty, and vengeance. And he is very much like the Crusaders' god, like upholding justice, ensuring that those who've done wrong are punished, ensuring protecting the innocent, upholding the values of knighthood, things like that. Those are all types of things that are associated with Ragathiel. His symbol is like sort of a sword crossed with a red wing, and that is he would have held his symbol up to show you that.
Okay.
He's very much like if you think like he's the Crusaders' god.
Got it. Solaire. Noted. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm good. Oh, I just want to look at Kane and Tabitha and say, while we're gone, see what you can do about getting more forces behind these walls. Maybe a knoll or like the knolls that I don't know how. You're right, but figure it out.
So he'd be like,
That's my recommendation.
he's like, well, next time those scavengers show up and try to pick at our rations, I'll try and have a reasonable conversation. See if we get anywhere. But I doubt it.
Well, I'll be as I mentioned, there is a knoll we know. With the
Better
right
the knoll you know than the knoll you don't.
Fuck you. And hang on. Depending on my efforts there, hopefully that'll be of some assistance if it pays off.
Yes, well, should your scoundrel friends give us aid, be sure to. It would be appreciative of it. Doubtful, but if it happens, it happens.
Is Zarkoris here?
Zarkoris isn't in the room. He's still out
Okay.
he's still out just doing like a task pretty much. Yeah.
I want to talk to Zarkoris real quick before.
Okay. All right. You can do that before you leave. And Kane would pretty much like I said, he's totally cool with you guys leaving. He's freaking insanely relieved that you guys were here when you were to begin with, and he's made that known. And he doesn't feel like you guys owe him shit. You're his people. So if you want to call this meeting there, or at least your involvement in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You have all means to.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, cool. So you guys are gonna get up and bounce, and Kane is just sort of gonna he's gonna wave you guys off, and then he's gonna look to Tabitha, and they're clearly both gonna continue continue talking about something.
Can I listen in?
You can attempt to.
I'm gonna keep going.
All right, you keep going. Brutus, I'd imagine, does as well.
Yeah,
And
I just want to talk to Zarkoris real quick.
all right, yeah, and Haywood, you can sort of hang by the door, and what's it called? And make a stealth check for me. Okay, so you close the door and you sort of take a few steps, and you just put an arm on an hand on Enji's shoulder, and you just nod him, just tell him keep going. They go onward, and you just sort of lean back against the wall and just listen at the door. And you hear the conversation sort of goes like this. Tabitha is just sort of you sort of hear her she goes that situation was too close for comfort. She goes, you snapped at me, Kane. And then you hear Kane, he's like, I know. I was still there then. And I'm sorry. And then she's just like, well, it's not like you've much control. What are we going to do? And he's just like, it's going to be all right. I can control myself. I'm not some rabid animal. And then you just sort of hear like the rustling of like clothing that you would sort of perceive as him pulling her into an embrace. And you just sort of hear her begin to whimper. And then he's just like, oh no, don't weep, my dear. You're my rock, and if you weep, who's to stop me from weeping? Yes. And you just sort of hear her continue her like crying, just get like louder and louder, and he just tries to just sort of like bring her down. And then after some time, you just sort of hear her like whimpers just sort of stifle, and you just sort of it just goes quiet after that.
Okay.
So
This guy's literally Frenchy.
Engie was Dark Horse. What the fuck? Engie was Dark Horse. So yeah, Zarkoris would just be like a he's with his boys, fucking he's with his guys. And
Yo MM.
he's got the same dudes that you'd they'd have been the same dudes you saw if you would have seen it defending the line with him. They're sort of the burlier dudes, the men's men of this place. Pretty much chosen to fight alongside him just because they're by pure fact that they just happen to be burlier than the rest and in good health. And he's just sort of helping them like get the fortifications just back to how they were. And he's just sort of walking around like with them, and just like if he sees a guy on the wall working on something, he just shouts at him, asks for a status report. Fucking dude to give him something, be like, oh, we have this much of this, we have this much of that. And he's like, all right, you talk to him, get more of that, blah blah blah. He's just dealing with shit. Fucking and when he'd see you, he'd be like he'd put an arm on his biggest guy's shoulder. He'd be like, and he'd just sort of nod at him to take care of it. And then he and his boys would just they just go off and continue doing pretty much giving the same orders that he was. And he just walk up and he'd just be like, so hell of a fight that was then. How are you doing?
I'm alive.
That's all we could really ask for, is it? What are your plans?
We're gonna head back to Zidraros and meet up with Softail and Inuyasha. You're welcome to come.
He sits there and he goes, and he sort of looks over his shoulder at his guys behind him and just sees them sort of giving orders and just like fucking carrying on with his work. And he's like, as much as I'd love to, I've got obligations here. These are my kin now. It's been some time since I've felt camaraderie like this, and I want to make sure they are okay. What'd you say?
I thought you might say that.
Yeah, and then he'd go but as for Inuyasha, please do give him my regards, and I apologize that I cannot come help you with whatever it is you're dealing with. I know he wouldn't have asked me of anything if it wasn't serious. You're my thoughts.
No love for the cat.
Dude, I was about to say, like, if he didn't bring up me at all, I was gonna be like, wow, fuck me then, huh?
Yeah.
No comrade, huh?
He means like a fan, like a group. But yeah.
I know. I was gonna be salty though, a little bit.
No, you're good. He very much holds you in high regard. You're his prison brother.
Hell yeah.
Well, our allegiance with Adam, so we have to take care of some stuff. But
he's like, allegiance? Seemed more like temporary servitude to me. But if that's where your allegiance lies, good on you.
Well,
You lot are more kind-hearted than I originally thought.
That's where the money's at.
Of course, there's always coin.
Yeah. There's no money in dying to whites.
I take no part in that. That's not a statement Hayward endorses. This is not a statement Hayward endorses.
Yo, that was fire.
Yo.
Yo, he actually like cackles at that, literally like I am, but in his voice. Fucking, and he goes, "No, for sure, not much coin, is there?"
But after we've gotten things taken care of, we have more business to finish here in the Foullands, and hopefully everyone will come back and you'll still be alive.
He's like, as I said, that's all we could really ask for. And then he sort of stick out an arm to just do the bros handshake,
Yeah, for sure.
the forearm shake, and he just sort of takes your arm and he's like, "Be safe, safe as you can on these roads. And as I said, give Inuyasha my regards.
Will do.
There's a moment doesn't go by when he's not in my thoughts. I hope he's safe."
Okay.
Wink. No, I'm kidding.
Bro, somewhere Inuyasha is blushing. Just being like, "Come on, Baka."
they got a bromance going.
Hell
But
yeah.
they were alone in a cell for a long time, lads.
Whoa!
No, I'm kidding.
Thank God they didn't have fucking PS5 party chat in that fucking cell,
Oh,
bro.
you're just giving me some shit to add to our lore, dog.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Doing
Fucking,
gay
but yeah.
freestyles and shit in the cells. The guy's like, "Come on, I just watched the jail. Shut up."
But yeah,
What
so,
happened in that cell was none of my business.
but yeah, so yeah, I mean, he says that, he's just, be safe.
You too. Don't die.
And at the, sort of like as you guys are just doing the comrades handshake, fucking that would be around when Haywood would come out of the keep, and I'd imagine, and he'd come up and see you guys. And if he has any words to say, he can. Otherwise, you cannot move on your way.
Who came up?
You.
I'm saying you. Yeah. Would you have come up at that point, or would you have like hung around in the keep some more?
Well, yeah, I would have definitely. I guess I would have come up now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine after listening to like a minute or so of just Tabitha crying, you'd be like, all right, maybe I'm not getting anything else out of this. Unless you're just like some kind of sick cunt.
I mean, I'm a perv. Oh, yeah. I love women crying.
He's just schmeating his android beat to this guy.
He's just crying. He's like, "Do you hear
The
metal?
part
Do you
where
hear
my
metal
genitalia
banging?"
should
He's like, "Are the Smiths at work this early
You're
already?"
just like polishing the front of a car. That's what you're
he's just outside. He's like, so no head. Well, either way, fucking
Did you
yeah,
see that
either
one
way, no.
getting Robot Chicken when the fucking robot hunt the fucking drying machine?
Yes.
Yeah, that's him.
But yeah, so fucking yeah. So if you don't have anything, do you have anything to say to Zarkors?
Nah, I just say, we'll be back. At the very least, I'll be back. We will be. I mentioned to him about the meeting, about how he should go see Kane, whatever, Tabitha or Dumas, and get a briefing from the meeting, because he should be there.
Mhm.
And yeah,
All right, cool.
I think that's it.
Yeah, so he'd nod at that, and he'd just sort of like jog over and regroup with his guys. At that, if you guys have nothing else, feel free to just, I'd imagine you just, hang out, help out what you can. You get some supplies for the road that I'll draft up and deal out to you guys, and then be on your way. You do I do remember you had that one thing you did mention last session is that you wanted to investigate if there was like an alchemist around or anything, or anyone who knew about stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there an alchemist around?
No. Okay.
All right, time to go home.
No. Well.
You'd
That's
have to
all
ask,
bad,
you'd have to
mister.
ask around a bit, but
Okay, I ask, whatever his name is, that hobgoblin.
Hey,
Yeah.
whoa.
Zarkors. I kept trying to think it, and Zadrors kept coming up, and I'm like, that's not the name. That's not the name.
I keep almost saying Zadror.
What's his name?
Throw out his name!
I ask him if he knows if there's any alchemy.
Yeah. So what's it called?
Yeah. Where?
Fuck's sake.
I go
But
there.
yeah,
Yeah, so
what's it called? Zarkoris would say he's like, if you need magical items identified, that's Dumon's got an eye for that type of thing. You go to him, have him try his luck.
We don't need to because I put a point in appraise, so you don't have to worry about that. I just need to talk to the alchemist.
Appraise is for items.
Yes.
Detect magic is still for potions.
Right, but I have faith in the potion. I don't need it identified. I don't have the gold to do that.
Okay, well then other than that, there's no alchemist.
Other than that, there's no alchemist. All right, time to go.
All right, fair enough. All right. So you guys are gonna
Actually, right before we leave, I want to get some fucking holy water from.
Oh yeah. That would have been literally like in the fucking shit you guys got.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, they gave you
I
that.
was making sure to drive that one home.
Yeah. They did. You getting a decent supply of some fucking holy water and some healing stuff, and some fucking protection against undead stuff. Yeah, they're giving you a decent amount of stuff. I mean, literally, like you tell, like it's probably more than they should be giving you given their situation. But like they're just like, yeah, we wouldn't even be here if not for you guys. So it'd be a shame if you guys would get fucking murdered on the road or something. Right. By some like fucking zombie crocodiles or some bullshit.
Another horde. Who has that dagger?
I do.
You? Oh wait, yeah, I thought you did.
I have 2 daggers.
Great. Give me them.
But I don't know what they're from. But yeah, sure, I'll give it to you. I don't know if they're the strange daggers we got.
Do I get 2 appraises for each one, or is it just one? I'm fucked.
I'm pretty sure. Wait, hold up. One sec.
Damn, though, I keep making some close-ass calls. Curtis just starts to pitch as I'm putting him back in his cage.
Alright, technically you could... I mean, technically you could try it again. I'll give you one more. And then if you fail that one, it's just outside of your pay grade.
Alright, well...
Alright, yeah, that's outside of your pay grade.
Put a point on it for nothing. Alright. Well, I don't know what I'm fucking looking at. Here you go. I give him back.
Alright.
And I'm good to go. I mean, as long as...
I think we're good, right?
Yeah, guess so. Alright, it's cool. So we'll call that there.
Is appraise a skill?
Yeah. Appraise is you use that to determine the value of an item. Like
stop recording?
yeah. Oh yeah, you can stop the recording.